You're hearing the number one least heard show in the universe.
Hey, check it out. 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 Hey, check it out.
Bad dog! Bad dog!
Hello. Well, I am the bad dog, and I'm coming to you live from the very tip top of Crawford Mountain. And tonight, I'm going to turn you on to the Guy Fawkes show, the Gunpowder Plot show. I was a guest on his, and we went into great detail and depth of the Paul Pelosi attack. So, won't y'all stick around and check that out?
My name is John Machado, and this is the Gunpowder Plot Show, also known as the Guy Fawkes Podcast. We're joined by none other than Bad Dog himself, Bentley Meadows. How you doing, buddy?
Great. How are you?
Good. For the first video back, still a little nervous coming into this, but as I said before, we're going to train wreck our way all the way through this. For our first recording, I got a couple of videos we're going to touch on, and as soon as I can share. Oh, cool. You can do the tab, the window. Let me know if we're still in it.
We're in it.
Okay.
I see you. I see me.
All right, I'm going to share it like this. Oh, okay.
Looky there.
So we're off. I'm going to full screen it.
We're off to the side on mine.
All right. I'm going to turn on the volume, but bring it down a little. All right. So this is the Paul Pelosi hammer attack video that everybody's watching. Now, before, you know what? Here, I'll kind of come back over here. Okay, so we're both on. So what did you hear about this whole attack prior to us watching it?
I heard that you could see him actually beating on his way in and forcing himself through the door wherever he was. I heard that the door when the police got there just kind of like opened up like magic, and then there was like Paul Pelosi and DePepe with in their underwear, and Paul Pelosi had a drink.
Yeah.
And then a moment or so later, DePepe smacks the hell out of Pelosi.
So yeah, there was a whole bunch of rumors that were around. I think most of them were kind of like that. I think the question up in the air was he invited or did he break in? There's another video that we can watch.
Most people who are invited do not break in.
Truth. And the break in, I'll say this.
Unless you think your friend's in danger.
Right. And the door is locked when you get there, and then you got to break in. Yeah. In this case, there is a video of the guy breaking in, I guess. Like, I'm still skeptical. I'm skeptical of everything. Like, really, I don't care about any of this, to be honest, other than it's just entertaining. I
want the worst thing possible to come out for Paul Pelosi. Is what I want.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I hope it's bad.
well, these are bad people, the Pelosi's. He just got off of drunk driving, I think it was.
And we
Wasn't it?
don't know who was in the car with him.
Right. Well, it might have been DePepe. Is that how you say his name?
De Pepe.
Yeah. So, and this guy is nutty. There's a recording of him after he was this situation.
Yeah, I heard him call into a radio station.
He said something like, "America, you're welcome."
I wished I could have got all of them or more of them.
Yeah, it's they're all goobers, man. They really are. This whole situation is just too funny. And so anyway, well, let's go over here. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Not that one. Here we go. All right. So let's go. Guys are coming up.
Yeah, definitely don't want Olive here. I definitely don't want Olive.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Now these two cops act like just the stuff that they're saying on their way up. I don't know. I kind of have the feeling like they're both just kind of dorky, you know? Lightly rapping. They don't. I don't know if you notice this. They don't seem real nervous. They don't seem like there's an emergency. You know, it's just
right.
It's almost like it's a well cared. How do they say it? Welfare check.
Welfare.
Yeah, welfare check. Looking back at his partner, looking around, what's going on, which you would expect a cop to check the surrounding.
Well, that was the limp wristus knock on a door by a cop that I've ever heard.
It was like he was knocking. You ever done that where like your hand's already knocking before it gets there, and then it's just lightly rapping the door?
I'm like, who would have thought that was a cop knocking on the door? There's usually a cop knock. You know, my friends, we all know a cop knock.
Yeah, back in the day, dude, you'd crack your friend's door, acting like the cops. All right, here we go.
640. Oh. Yeah, it literally said in there.
Okay, the door opens. Right. What do we see?
Okay, I don't see underwear. I see what's that? A house coat.
Yeah. So, well, it looks like I just have this feeling.
And
like,
boxers.
You know, when you bed your lady, and after you guys are thirsty or hungry, you make something, and she puts on your shirt, right? She's got your button down on. That's what. So Paul Pelosi's on the right, and DePepe's on the left. DePepe's a little heavier than I thought he was. And Paul Pelosi's on the right with a button down, and that's underwear. He's in his underwear.
But it made them sound like they were both just in underwear.
Yeah, that was the rumors that I had heard too. Yeah,
but okay.
But Pepe is not in his.
No,
he's fully dressed with shorts.
He's got shorts and maybe a hoodie on. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like a zip-up hoodie. They're both of their right hands are on the same object, which turns out is a hammer.
Yes.
Now you see this, and you think these are the two best friends that anyone could have. They're just fucking. They both open the door. This is bizarre. As a cop, as anybody, you come onto this scene. They open the door, and this is what you see. You're just like, I was not expecting this. You know, I don't think anybody is expecting this scene. Here we go.
Guys, how you doing? How are you? What's going on, man?
Everything's good.
Hi. Drop the hammer.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Who knew that you could just respond to the cops that way? Drop the hammer. No, I'm not gonna. Nope. Everybody.
Yeah, so Pelosi could have on a pair of shorts, or I guess boxers, or
yeah, those are. Oh, is that a night? Is that a man's nightgown top? You know, like a button-down pajama top? Is that what
I
that is?
don't know.
The Pepe's got a hell of a gut on him, doesn't he? It's just poking out the bottom there, huh? They're both now starting to fight over the hammer.
Yeah.
You need to have them close if you're going to hit somebody with a hammer, right? It's not really a long distance.
Yeah, you got to
item.
get up close and personal.
So
if you're going to, do an assault with a hammer.
What is Pelosi's left hand doing? You're fighting.
I heard he had a drink.
Well, that's bizarre.
Also.
Yeah, I think I heard that too. Okay, well,
we'll see here.
Pelosi obviously doesn't have the awareness that he's in the middle of a fight for his life, to an effect, that he should probably drop the drink or use it, smash him in the face with it, and now you got both hands to fight with. Pelosi's not a fighter. I think we can deduct that. So the cops who are not rushing in.
Nope.
This is the most bizarre shit. The cops aren't rushing in even at this moment. It's still just the weirdest situation they come upon probably that night. And nothing, and they're just kind of shocked, I think. And so they're not lunging forward. They said drop the hammer. He's not. They don't move in.
He's like up, nope.
I would assume that most cops probably would have drawn their gun the moment they saw that hammer, and then they kind of saw this. Your hand's now going up towards it. I would have to think. But you'll see by the cops' reaction here in a minute that was not it. They were not ready for any of this. They were like in a movie theater watching the scene unfold, and they're just kind of sitting back going, all right, where's this going?
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so here it comes.
Hey. What is going on right now?
I'm not getting an answer on call.
Oh,
he swung.
I think he connected, dude. Even they're watching the fighting, and he's like, hey. No, there's no fire. There's no emergent feeling to these cops. They're just like, are they high? They're out in Cali. This is legal out there, right? Are they high? They're just sitting there watching. Hey.
Looks like
that's
at least
cool, bro.
He swung pretty quick.
Yeah.
Definitely had bad intentions.
Now, okay, so this video is only 1:39. We've spent the last 50 seconds them walking up to the house. I'd say probably maybe 25 seconds them at the door looking at these two before they finally decide, okay, it's go time. You see action. We have to inject ourselves. And here's the end of it.
Oh, shit.
Fucking. That's Paul Pelosi, dude. He is
laying
out
there.
He is knocked into next week, as they say.
Well, at least he
not
ain't
moving.
planked.
He survived, right? I mean, he had to go into surgery, I think it was.
Yeah, they acted like there were some major things wrong.
Yeah, well, when you saw the swing, we'll go back and watch it in its entirety again. But when you see the swing, it's from that big of a man on this. Paul Pelosi's an older fella. What is he? 70s, close to 80s, if not 80s.
Yeah, I'm guessing 80s something.
Yeah, dude, taking a hammer to the head. Yikes! From a guy that's probably in his 30s, maybe 40s, bigger fella like that. He can generate some momentum with that hammer, and it looks like he connected, and he's out. And now they're wrestling with this big fella. He's just down. Like he got tackled, and he's not fighting at this point. Let's see the rest of this. Not moving.
Edward 14, Edward 10, backup code 3.
They're all just laying on him.
Code 3 backup at
Tackle them. Just laying.
Give me your fucking hand!
Units code
Give me your fucking hand!
40 Broadway for 14 out.
Do you feel like I just internally, I have this thing where I'm like, cops shouldn't cuss. That's just in my head. But I totally understand why they cuss, right?
I get it. Yeah.
It's almost shocking to me that I hear
I'm
a cop.
taking the hand.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for it. I'm taking it.
Yeah. Give me your fucking hands. What the fuck?
I wouldn't even say that. I would grab his hand. It'd be mine.
The fact that the one cop, what do you say? Oh shit! When he saw him got hit, it's like cops are just normal people like us. Oh shit! I need to do something. All right,
Yeah.
come in and grab.
Cops aren't there to stop a crime.
It's so funny,
and that's like a real vision of it right there. Police do not stop crimes usually.
Yeah,
that's not what they're there to do.
I would argue that maybe if I have to throw a percentage on it, it's going to be somewhere around 90+ of the percent of crimes. Cops don't stop them. They come after
the crime is committed.
Right. And even in this situation, they're still just a few seconds behind.
Yeah.
You hear that sound? That is, anytime somebody has been, at least from what I've seen, physically knocked out, your body automatically goes into this snoring thing. Not everybody, but it happened to me. 1, 2, been knocked out a couple times. I was ice skating and I tried to hockey stop and I see my feet in the air and then I wake up and there's people all around me. I was knocked out and they were all like, you were snoring. Like this. Another time I got sideswiped while playing soccer of all sports, and that's what my buddy was saying. He was like, dude, you were knocked out. You started snoring. It was scary. This is kind of like a scary sound to hear somebody make when they're unconscious. Like, well, fuck, what's happening? What's going on?
Edward 14, Edward 10, medics code 3 as well.
And you can see his belly.
Yeah, he's snoring.
Got it?
Sorry, 14 number 2, medic code 3.
Affirmative.
And that's it.
Showing up on the first page.
Oh, no.
He's definitely snoring.
Oh, shit. I think I have to go through that. Oh, here we go.
I have to go pee. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Oh, cool. It goes right into the call.
I'm right closer than you think.
That's all right. Yeah, so that wasn't, you can hear me. That wasn't what I was prepared for when I saw it the first time, just from all the rumors that were kind of swirling around. But then again, it was pretty close to what a lot of rumors were about it. They both answered the door, which is a strange thing for somebody to have broken in. We're about to listen to the recording of the 911 call, which is, again, bizarre. Like, this whole scenario is very bizarre. All right. So I'm going to have to go back out, come back in once I get the video and go back through it. But at least we can have this part. Unmute it. Ready to go?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
San Francisco Police 74 2022.
Oh, I guess I called by mistake. What is it?
You turn it up.
This is San Francisco Police. Do you need help?
Oh, I guess I called by mistake.
I guess I called by mistake. What? Like, a part of me feels for the center of every story, right? Like, even though I don't like Paul Pelosi, it's just a part of me. I don't know why I do this, but I feel for the guy. Like, and a part of me wants to believe that he's saying the weird off the wall shit that he's saying in this because he what if he is in a situation where this guy broke in and he's just scared and he doesn't want to alert the guy that he's calling 911 and he doesn't want to get killed? You know what I mean? Like that's where I kind of feel for him in this thing, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt of why this is so off the wall. His responses to the lady are so weird. But that's just like some kooky shit that I got in my head. What I do know, what I can ascertain from this phone call, is this is just bizarre. And it makes me really believe that, okay, it isn't... Nobody knows what the fuck's going on here. Is this guy a gay escort that he called over? You know? Like, go ahead.
Did he bust into the house or not? Have you...
Yeah, there's a video on that we can look up here in a minute.
So I would say he's not invited if he broke in. From what I heard, he broke into that place, like even like putting his shoulder into it.
Right.
But like I said, that's just what I heard, and even what I heard about that video was wrong.
Yeah, but even this, like, here, we'll listen to it and then you'll see.
But this call here, I heard it, and I could go either way. That he's kind of talking in code.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. He's like talking in code, but
if you don't know, you know, you're in San Francisco and you don't know Paul Pelosi's name and his wife, Nancy Pelosi, you're just stupid and they should fire that person immediately.
Yeah, the person on the call, like,
I don't know who those people are.
Right.
Or do they get that call all the time?
Maybe.
You know, maybe they call all the time.
Maybe she's just skeptical. Like, why would Paul Pelosi be calling us? Because he even says something in this about, what did he say? The park police, which are out in Washington, D.C., not San Francisco, unless they got a park out there that they often use. I don't know.
But I'm ready. You can play it. I'm ready for you.
This is San Francisco Police. Do you need help?
Oh, well, there's a gentleman here just waiting for my wife to come back.
What?
There's a gentleman here waiting for my wife to come back.
Knowing everything we know right now, it's like, what? Like,
I get it. He's telling, he's waiting on my wife. My wife is in D.C. I'm Paul Pelosi. She's Nancy Pelosi, and there's some motherfucker in the house.
Yeah, that's a little bit closer to what a normal person would be like. This motherfucker's here.
But he is
here.
trying to, and I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So because I don't know what's going through his mind, but I could see where that is. But that's hindsight. If I was just on the phone with him, I'd be like, what the hell? Language.
On this end, you're like,
they go through all kinds of stuff.
True. I mean, yeah, you got to just about any major city, even rural areas, you're going to have
people call about their chicken McNuggets,
all sorts of shit. I mean, when I worked with on the ambulance and even doing clinicals and shit with fire departments and with the fire department, you get so many weird calls. People stubbing their toe or fucking. Somebody at a nursing home just wanting to get a patient out because they can't stand them for the day, and you got to come and get them. So there's all sorts of weird shit that people call in for. So
I don't know if this is an emergency, but this fella's head is not connected to his body. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I need to call back on another line?
Operators, dispatches, man, they get some fruity calls for sure.
Nancy Pelosi.
2:23.
He's just waiting for her to come back. But she's not going to be here for a day, so I guess we'll have to wait.
Okay, that's even weirder. What? But like the code thing. Speaking of code, is like, all right, he's not wanting to alarm the guy, but
this guy's waiting on my wife, and she ain't coming back.
Yeah, and he just said she'll be back in a day, but he's not like giving anything to the operator to be like, hey, come check us out. Come help him. Give him a ride to the I don't know.
Could y'all come and wait with him?
Yeah, can you come and wait with him or something? He's almost like dismissive to the lady to say, "Hey, don't worry about coming out here. I messed up."
Or maybe old dude can't explain himself.
Maybe.
But yeah. All right, let's go on. I'm ready for more.
Okay, do you need police, fire, or medical for anything?
8 seconds.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
0 to 23 and
Okay.
58 seconds.
There's the is the Capitol Police around?
0 to 20.
No, this is
They
San
usually
Francisco.
protect my wife. They're usually here at the house protecting my wife. No. This gentleman just came into the house, and he wants to wait here for my wife to come home.
0 to
And so,
24 and 48.
anyway, he told me to put the phone down.
Do you know who the person is?
No, I don't know who he is. He has this. He's telling me not to. He's telling me not to do anything. Anyway, this gentleman says that he thinks everything ought to, he told me to put the phone down and just do what he said.
18 seconds.
Okay?
Okay, what's the gentleman's name?
I don't know. What's that?
My name's David.
The name is David.
Okay, and who is David?
I don't know. What's that?
I'm a friend of theirs.
Yeah, he says he's a friend, but as I say, I've never.
But you don't know who he is?
No, ma'am.
48 seconds.
Okay.
He's telling me I'm being very leading, so I got to stop talking to you, okay?
25 and
Okay. You sure I can stay on the phone with you just to make sure everything's okay?
No, he wants me to get that off the phone.
0 to 26
Okay.
and 0 8
Thank you.
seconds.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that should be simple enough. So he needed help.
Yeah, the longer that went on, the better I felt about okay.
But they misled a lot of that. People I listened to lied about what he said.
Yeah.
Or they got the wrong information. I could clearly listen to that.
Even though he's in some kind of distress, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly.
And he did give what I was wanting after the couple times that I paused it, because it was just so bizarre in the beginning. But then it started to kind of make sense. Okay, he's scared. And this other guy is there, and he doesn't know who the fuck this guy is.
I don't know who he is, and he's the one that says I'm a friend of theirs.
Yeah. So it's kind of, for me, now it's starting to go away from the idea that he's a gay escort that Paul Pelosi called over, which was the story for a long time. I'm starting to doubt that a little more and believe this guy is just nuts, and he did break in. Let's see if I can find that video.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yep, I feel like I was misled on that video.
Yeah, just like this first comment right here. Obviously, he wanted police stat, but couldn't say so directly without risking retaliation.
Yeah, normally I have Capitol Police here, but my wife's not here.
Yeah. All right. Nope. One more. We can watch that one too again. Here we go.
This is
ads, and more ads. Kiss my ad. Fox 2 News.
You could turn it up.
Are they gonna?
Taken quite some time to come out. This morning, the courts released it, and it shows the police body-worn camera video of officers approaching as Paul Pelosi and the suspect here, David DePaper, holding the hammer. You see David DePaper.
All right. What I was wanting to get to is this creepy-ass shit. Okay, so this is the break-in. And I guess, can you see my cursor?
Yep.
All right, this is camping stuff that he brought with him. There's some tent and sleeping bag or some shit that he brought with him. And I don't know if he's at the back or wherever the fuck he's at.
Pap, or the person who's accused of doing this, breaking into the back of the home. He has a backpack where police say he had those hammers, breaks into the home, and commits this violent assault on the former speaker's husband. Now, if you remember, this all happened in the early morning hours of October 28th. against the speaker's husband, Paul Pelosi, who's 82 years old.
That's not a guess.
Was arrested right after, as you saw in that video, the attack. He's since been charged in state court here at the Hall of Justice with assault, attempted murder. He's also facing federal charges of kidnapping and assault. So as that all plays out, finally today we're seeing these new revelations into how that attack played out. Now, we also got from the courts a 911 call that ostensibly is from Paul Pelosi, as well as the interview.
Somewhat agile for a bigger fella, huh?
Wow. Yeah, so he's just some loony toony. I was hoping the worst, but it looks like I was wrong.
Yeah. Here, we'll watch this one more time. Full screen. Yeah, that's the part that's hard to listen to.
Yeah, definitely don't want all of you.
Oh, dorky.
Definitely don't want all of you.
I definitely don't want all of you. What does that mean?
Oh no. It was like he's just using a little knocker on the door there.
Yeah. Look around. You want a cop to do that? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Not to be looking at the door when they open it. Nice to have his back to it.
Right.
Hi. How you doing? What's going on, man?
Everything's good.
I don't see a drink in his hand either.
Drop the hammer.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't see anything spilled.
What is going on?
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Tackle him. Let's land on his head while he's out. And that's it. So we are all caught up on the sitch, right? We got the break-in.
Yeah.
We got the phone call, and then we got the attack. So there it is. Stop sharing.
So I wonder if they could backtrack him getting there. You know, how did he get there? Does somebody drop him off?
Yeah, good point. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from that yet. Those are probably details. I assume this is going to be a publicized trial where they'll go into that. We'll probably find that out whenever said trial is. I don't know how fast they're going to move on this. I mean, shit, the Kyle Rittenhouse one. How long did that take? A year?
It took a little while.
No. Was it a year?
No. They had his ass in jail like lickety split.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was just a couple months. But
they didn't let him out, did they?
Yeah, don't we have a right to a speedy trial? I mean, I guess it's subjective. You know, what does speedy mean? Not 10 years, not a decade. You know, as long as it's within a year. I don't know. But yeah, I would assume once the trial starts, they will we'll get some more of them deets. So, all right, dude, that took up a half hour. Not bad. We're cruising through this.
Cruising.
This first showing. All right, we're gonna do one other video, and then I think we can call it a night for our first time back. We want to ease it in, right? We don't want to overwhelm ourselves. We want to
easy peasy.
Easy peasy it. Share screen. A boom. Share. Okay, so now what this one is the Project Veritas video, the most recent one, where they caught the oh shit, let me get my notes out. They caught the feller from Pfizer, Jordan Walker, director, with the long name, the Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, and mRNA Scientific Planning. That's a big title.
Yeah.
And this one is about 22 minutes. Let's just go into it. Now, this is Sam Cedar. This is who I think is the best that the left has in terms of argumentation.
Video. They targeted a mid-level management guy at Pfizer.
We are 9 seconds in. and I have a problem. I got to stop it.
He's already discrediting him.
He's already minimizing what this guy's role is in the grand scheme of things.
Which is a tactic of the greasy communist socialist scumbag lefties.
Which is exactly what I think Sam Cedar is. Thank you. Yes. As I just read this guy's name or title, Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, and mRNA Scientific Planning at Pfizer. That title entails that this dude knows what's up when it comes to
it didn't come across as janitor.
Exactly, yeah. So, and is he a CEO, right? Is he on the board? Is he on? Probably not. He's not that high. And that's, you're up on the top level, and he's saying, well, he's mid level. And it's like,
no, he's the guy doing the mutations.
Right, or at least in charge of it, of making the decisions or being a part of, as it says here,
yeah, because CEOs aren't doing that.
Right. So, and he's the director. That's pretty high up. So you may not be the president if you're the general. So, but you're still a general, right? You're still in charge of troops and shit. You're still top brass. So the diminishing of the title of, or at least of what he does, this is in order to set up his straw man to go forward with this. Well, the anybody who isn't liberal leftist is a bad person. 9 seconds in, he does this.
Yep. So that's a tactic.
To go out on a date with a guy a couple of times, I think it was. The employee is a guy named Jordan Walker. He is. Do we know exactly what his title was? He's like a director. And it's fascinating the way this is being spun.
They don't want to stick on how long his title is. He called him a director, but he's just mid-level. He's not that big of a director. He's just some whatever.
By Veritas. Right. The guy talks about conversations that they've had and about procedures that would go forward. And they're just throwing this around, but I don't know that it's legal for them to do this. But
it is.
The idea of they call it, what is it? The evolution,
mutation. I think they say evolution in this video. I mean, and I gotta say,
they'll get to it, but what they're talking about is now it's not a new term, but it's a new term to all of us, and it's what you and I talked about the other night on the podcast was directed evolution. Shit, I meant to start a podcast for tonight. Whatever. I guess I'll have to just do a smaller episode and tell everybody that we did a video. I got to tell everybody to follow us on Rumble too, so that we can start.
Rumble.
Yes, we can throw these.
I can turn that into an audio.
What's that?
I will turn this into an audio also.
If you could send that to me, and then I can throw it up on my podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this guy's actual title is because, Larry Elder, who I don't believe is a credible person, says he's just the Pfizer Director of Research and Development. I don't think that's the case.
He is not the director.
Right.
He is a director. Director is a term like above manager, but below, executive vice president type of thing or something like that in the corporate structure.
Yeah. Duh. Fucking retard.
Yeah, they point out exactly who he is, but it's nobody. He's not the janitor.
Yeah, the attempt to make this guy not as important as he is, therefore making what he's saying not as important as what everybody who watches this, and they're taken aback by what's been exposed by Project Veritas and all this. That's their attempt here. Is to go, oh, it's not that bad. It's not really what's happening. They're not mutating any viruses.
This is gaslighting at its finest.
This is a whole team of people the producers and writers and all that shit for this show. And they're playing dumb. They're just playing dumb. They're playing dumb.
Gaslighting.
Yeah, they're gaslighting.
They're trying to make you feel dumb. But
for me to be able to pull out this guy's title. Now, given this is a couple days ago, I think this is 4 days ago when this came out, but at the same time, all they needed to do was Google it. I highly doubt that they didn't have access to what this guy's title was, and they even talked about it here. They called him a director, and then they even talked about, and I think they said Larry Elder said something about research and development.
And of course, Larry Elder is the black-white supremacist.
Yeah, the black-white supremacist, obviously. Right,
so this is gaslighting brilliantly. But yeah, trying to make you feel dumb because you think somebody in that guy's position is really high up. And then they're like, no.
Well, not that high up. Yeah.
No, he ain't high up at all, dummy.
He's the director of the janitors, that's all.
Yeah, he just got a broom and a mop. He don't even have a bucket.
He's not doing a good job at it right here. But usually, I'll say, is that Sam Cedar is really good at doing just this and making it sound like he's right, like he knows.
So he's like an apologetics.
Yeah, he's a sympathizer to.
He's an apologetics, trying to explain their religion away.
Yeah, trying to boast their side and explain away the other side. Now, his father was a lawyer. He went to school to become a lawyer. Dropped out, I guess, to when he started fucking around with his friends in college and doing all this shit and getting into politics and what have you, and saw that he can make more money doing this and he would rather do this. I assume that's what happened. But he still learned while in law school how to make good sounding arguments for whatever the issue is on whatever side. So, as I've said before, he makes the best arguments for his bad ideas.
Right.
And he's the best at it on the left, which is why I have him up here.
Structure.
They're talking about this term direct evolution.
Direct evolution.
To gain of function.
Yes. Gain of function is where you take a virus and you enhance all of its most sort of like virulent aspects. Maybe it's contagiousness, maybe it's lethality as a way of studying it. The directed evolution is where you create a controlled environment and you let the virus mutate as it would in the natural world.
Incorrect. No, this is a lie. This is what I was talking about the other day. Number one, and I'm only saying it because usually people on the left say this. Now, it's really anybody that when you're hurting their argument, take all of COVID, right? Anybody that would hear me would be like, well, you're not a doctor, so you don't know what you're talking about. Well, Sam Cedar's not a doctor. And all the arguments that he just made for both gain of function and directed evolution are basically one and the same. Like he's saying that on the gain of function side, they're manipulating it in order to make this, that, and the other happen. And directed evolution is just, well, they've created an environment where this would naturally. No. That is not what's happening here. It's
like, well,
on both sides.
Case Ebola walked by.
Right.
And we'll just see what would happen if that happened, or salmonella, or chlamydia.
Right. I mean, it's the gain of function research in the first place by the NIH or NIH. What was it? The COVID Institute out there in China under Dr. Fauci with the NIH, and their support that developed COVID in the first place, which was not a natural coming together. I can't think of words. A natural evolution or whatever you want to call it of the virus of the coronavirus in the first place to become COVID-19. That was the product of gain of function research.
Gain of function.
And now you have this video from Project Veritas with this guy in it where he's basically saying that Pfizer's doing the same thing.
Yeah, gain of function is a way of making money.
Certainly in this case, they're mutating.
We're gaining a function that we can sell back to these people,
right?
By the millions.
When you hear this guy talk, he's not like, is he probably boasting about what he's doing? Sure, but there's it's not just a kernel of truth. There is a lot of kernels of truth in this damn thing that he's talking about. Where, and again, he is a director of research and development, strategic operations, and mRNA scientific planning. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's not bullshitting. And they're trying to talk it down because it hurts the left side. It's so fucking comical. And it's ironic because Sam Cedar claims to be a comedian and he's not fucking funny. But them carrying water for big pharma after turning around and being socialists and communists and all this other shit. When we get to it, I'll address it.
But you accelerate that.
That's what's so funny.
So that you can anticipate what may be future variants of this disease, so you can create vaccines in the natural world.
Wait a minute.
A controlled environment.
That's direction.
Is where you take a virus and you enhance all of its most sort of like virulent aspects. Maybe it's contagiousness, maybe it's lethality, as a way of studying it.
Okay.
The directed evolution is where you create a controlled environment and you let the virus mutate as it would.
You just let
in the natural world, but you accelerate that so that you can anticipate.
How do you accelerate it?
You just keep doing it over and over, let it mutate.
There you go,
mutate.
Dude.
In a petri dish after petri dish after petri dish.
Fucking. The first one's manipulation, but this one is hands off. But then you manipulate it, and it's like you're just bullshitting us. Look at him fucking just carrying that water. Keep doing it, dickhead.
Yeah, this is called.
May be future
was it Mangala? Mangala?
Yeah.
Nazi guy?
Yeah. Joseph Mengele?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same people.
Yeah.
Got to be related to him.
Variants of this disease, so you can create vaccines that would preempt it.
So they're doing it.
Just understand these are two different things. I'm not saying that there's, either one is something that we should be doing in these places, but they're two different things, and they conflate these because hold on.
So they're going to make something naturally just because it occurs, and when we make it, because we're allowing this to happen, we're also got a vaccine to stop it from happening.
Yeah, they're doing it out of heroic purposes. They want to keep us safe.
Yeah, because when they make something and it gets loose and everybody gets it, we'll have the vaccine.
Yeah, the vaccine.
They leave out that part.
Have never worked. Not from the get-go, not for any of these mutations, which these things naturally mutate. What he doesn't know, or at least what he's not saying, is that when a virus mutates, it goes one of two ways. Rarely does it go both ways. It either becomes more contagious, less lethal, or less contagious, more lethal. And
right, yeah.
In the course of COVID-19, it's always, every time it's mutated, it's become more contagious, less lethal, less severe. And he's not saying that at all here. Fucking twat.
Theoretically, the controlled evolution is not in any way changing the trajectory of the virus, but rather a way to track where it may head in the future. This guy's talking about monkeys in a laboratory. You put them together, you take one, and then you inject it into another, and you see where it mutates, so that you can get out in front of the vaccines. Now, make no mistake about it.
Has worked. Nothing. They haven't done shit. The vaccine. Don't take the vaccine. The vaccines have done nothing except for seemingly hurt people. and made people far more susceptible to getting the virus in the first place.
Yeah, because it was nothing like they said.
Nothing.
At all. It is actually the opposite of what they said.
Yeah, throughout the entirety of all this. And you and me, us purebloods, we kind of knew better, didn't we? As I've said, especially for anybody that's watching me now, from the get-go, I took the stance, as I would with most things, of just saying, okay, when it comes to COVID, I'm going to sit back. Let me look around. Are people falling over dead? Is it really that? Because the media obviously, brought hysteria in the sense that they made it sound like people were just getting it and falling over dead, yada, yada, yada. Well, when it came to the vaccine coming out, which even Trump's vaccine, I was like, I'm not taking it. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let other people be the guinea pigs.
Warp speed.
And guess what's happening now? The exact thing that I was waiting for when it came to the to the virus in the first place. People are dropping dead because in every last one of them, maybe not every last one of them. I only say that because I don't know all of them, or all of the cases. But these people are dropping over, having seizures, being unconscious, dying. There's something to it. And these dickheads were the ones that were out there pushing it.
As far as I'm concerned, these vaccines should be property of the United States government.
Because the government solves all problems, right? They have never made anything worse. They've fixed all of our problems. That's why, and we don't have inflation. We don't have high gas prices. The racial tensions within the nation are at the best that they've ever been because the government solves everything. So we should just give everything over the government. We should give all of our money over the government and let them make all the decisions.
Well, we've got a insurgency going on. It's not like a real live government anymore.
Yeah, it is.
And people need to understand that, really.
Maybe it's just that, that those in power now are just less concerned with keeping it all quiet. Now they're
do you know how many trans people are in his government position?
I know three of them. There's the weird guy that is he a general? Not a general. He's a captain, lieutenant, whatever he is, with the blonde curly hair. Ugly is all get out. Ugly woman, ugly man.
A surgeon general or something. Anyway, they don't represent the actual people of the United States.
No.
The numbers that are in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is certainly even with the small amount that are in, which I think, the Surgeon General. Is that the same guy that I'm thinking of? There's the weird bald-headed dude.
They fired him.
Oh yeah, because he was stealing people's luggage, women's luggage, and dressing up in their fucking clothes. Oh, filthy.
Yeah, that was gross.
And then he lied about it all,
and then to hop off to one other thing,
not really representing themselves very good. Sorry, go ahead.
How about that judge that is supposed to go to, I think, Washington State? Kennedy was asking her what Article 2 of the Constitution was, and she was
and she didn't know anything.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. People don't ask me that, but when they do ask me that, I look it up and study it.
Yeah. It's like, well, maybe you guys should look up the Constitution as a whole.
And see, that's the way I look at doctors as they just go look on WebMD.
Yeah. You come in with something ailing you, and they're like, I don't know what this is. Fuck it. Give me a book. Give me Google. Let me Google this shit. We'll get you settled. We'll get you taken care of.
We paid for the development of these. There should be allowed a profit for the pharmaceutical companies, but it should be capped by the U.S. government. This should be our property.
And contingent on.
Yeah, I mean, there's parts of that like, okay, we paid for it. Well, how did we pay for it? Well, we were forced to pay taxes. and the government, which borrows money on top of all the money that we give them, that we're
So
forced
we got to pay those people $1 gazillion to own it.
Well, and he's saying to cap it, and it's like I don't like the premise, and that's kind of the problem with these people, and that's the problem with all of his arguments is it's always in the premise.
Well, it shouldn't be private anyway, to be honest with you. Private dicks should not be allowed to be doing things like that.
Well, yeah, the gain of function for sure, but in the development of pharmaceuticals, I'm all right with it being private. I'd rather it be private. But man, it's just like there's parts of this that I want to wrestle with, right? It's like I just don't. But the point that he's making is, well, the government's the solution, so we should have the government and the government oversight in charge of all of it, and we paid for it, so therefore we should have this. And I get that, but it's under the premise that the system is set up the right way in the first place, and it's not, because the system failed everything. The system's the problem. It's not the solution.
The intellectual property protections being waived so that it could be used for people internationally without them having to go to Pfizer or Moderna.
So I hold no, hold no water for Pfizer, but let's just be clear what
you lying piece of shit. You just got done doing it.
This is not about taking on corporations who get funded by the U.S. government and then try and privatize the profits here. This is about promoting an anti-vax conspiracy theory. And this is the way they do it. So this first clip is...
I hate how they group us all together. How they group it all together. How it's... If you're against this vaccine, then you're against all vaccines. And it's like, okay, well, that's not the case here, dickhead. We're against this vaccine for sure. And as it turns out, we're right. You're not. And you absolutely are carrying water for these people that made this vaccine in a hurry. It was a pissing contest, and got it out to as many people as you possibly could. Unnecessarily, because COVID wasn't killing people like you dumbasses were purporting it to. Are you still there, by the way? I haven't checked over on you in a minute. He's gone. No wonder I haven't heard him. Hold on real quick. Can I pause this recording? I can't. Hold on just a second. I gotta send my homie an invite. We'll watch some more of this. If he comes in while we're doing it, then we'll be set. But
oh yeah, the about that sort of conflating gain of function with the controlled evolution.
Meet Jordan Tristan Walker, a director of research and development strategic operations.
And they really want to try and make that the point of this. Well, they're just conflating these two situations, which you didn't do a very good job of explaining. Number one, the difference between the two. Not that there really is much of one to explain away, but you have this assumption that, well, they're only doing this because they're on the right wing and we're in our two separate camps, and they're just anti-vaxxers. And then it's going to come into how it always goes. Well, they're racist, they're bigots, that's anti-climate change people, blah 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 blah. When that's not the case. Project Veritas has been the gold standard of investigative journalism for forever. Every single news company, whatever you want to call them, should be doing what Project Veritas is doing. They should have their journalists who are finding stories, who are out trying to get undercover videos of gangs, of mobs, of people doing bad things. That's what they should. Government corruption, Wall Street, everything. They should be trying to infiltrate and uncover the truth of the people that are out there that are trying to do bad. And the only people, I shouldn't say the only people, because you also have things like InfoWars, entities like InfoWars that did it. I mean, that's why we know about Bohemian Grove. InfoWars is absolutely an investigative journalist company. I can't think of words tonight. It sucks. But Project Veritas is the gold standard now, and they do a great job, and they did a great job here. I heard some people, so if you haven't seen their video, by all means, go and watch it. We're going to watch part of it here, and they're not going to show another part of this. And I think it's, again, in order to carry water for this guy, but their intent is to give an insight into what we've known is wrong, and they're kind of collecting some pieces to the puzzle of why things are as bad as they may be right now. What's going on with the virus? People, in essence, what you have with these companies that are making the vaccine is that they're doing it for a profit, and they're not helping anyone. They haven't helped anyone yet. None of these vaccines have done anything. And they've been different types of vaccines. They've had different ingredients in them, right? If you haven't taken the time to look up what was in the J&J vaccine before that got booted out of everywhere and people stopped taking it, Pfizer, Moderna, if you haven't checked out, please, by all means, go and check it out. Don't be intimidated by the idea that you're not a doctor and you need to be a doctor in order to understand this shit. I'll even use the left's tools. If you don't know by now, if you haven't listened to my podcast, you don't know much about me. I used to work for a contractor of Google, and we had access to the Googlers and Google products, and we were trained by Googlers. There's a lot that we were privy to in terms of what the underbelly looked like at Google. Oh shit, is he back in? Sorry. Nothing there. Son of a bitch. That sucks, man. He was just all of a sudden gone. I was like, I'm not hearing him. I haven't gotten any message. Shit. Anyway, go back here. Sorry. I've only got, how long have we been on? We've been on for about an hour. I don't want to stay on too much longer. I got some more shit I got to do. So we'll try and breeze through this. I'll only cut in when, I don't know, I feel it necessary.
And mRNA scientific planning at Pfizer.
It sounds like gain of function to me. I don't know. It's a little bit different. I think it's different. It's like this. It's definitely not gain of function. It sounds like it is. I mean, it's okay. No. Directed evolution is very different.
Well, you're not supposed to do gain of function research of the viruses. Like, yeah, they recommend not. But you do like these like selected.
You'll see something similar with a lot of the verbiage from the left. I mean, it's just outright changing definitions. I mean, look at what trannyism is all about. You know, it's just changing, it's flat out changing definitions of things in order to allow for people to I guess believe differently, you know, to an effect. And it's what they're doing here is he's saying right now, gain of function is illegal. So just like Fauci did when Rand Paul called him out, in the Senate hearing committee. Fauci just said, well, it's not the definition. And he's like, because you changed the definition. That's the problem here. It is the definition. What you're doing is gain of function. It absolutely was gain of function. That they were working on it at the Wuhan lab. But because they changed the definition, now all of a sudden, well, it's not it. So you can't go after us for it. I think I just heard you come in.
There you go.
There he is. Yeah, like all of a sudden you weren't there. I'm like,
yeah, like
hello?
my internet just poof.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't hear anything for a minute. I had to go back over and look for you. But and also another thing that they'll say that happens with Project Veritas is that it's under the guise of like this guy, you know, all their targets or whatever are being taken out or going out on dates with, like, usually it's straight men with pretty women. They'll talk about it here in a minute, and here it's this guy's a gay guy and he's out with another gay guy, or seemingly a gay guy. I don't know if he is actually gay. And they're getting drunk, they're drinking, and then he's just talking a whole bunch. So and they think that's wrong, and it's like, no,
that's a classic honeypot.
Yeah,
that's what they do. That's how you get stupid people to tell you their secrets.
Yeah, I mean, this guy goes all over the place. I mean, he touches on everything. He even touches on the idea that he could be talking to a Project Veritas person, you know. And it's like, and they've been drinking. Just because they've been drinking doesn't mean that they're not telling you the truth. And in fact, a lot of times they're telling you a little bit more than they need to. That's what alcohol does. And Sam Cedars a dork, and I mean, I guess he banged Sarah Silverman. Now he thinks that I don't know, cool. Hey man, she's kind of got a pretty face. She's got a big rack, so you know.
I don't know. Man. I don't like her. I think she's kind of gross.
I think she's a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. But anywho, all right, let's go here.
Structural mutations to try to keep it more potent.
Yeah.
So there is research online about that. I don't know how that's going to work. There might not be any more outbreaks, just like Jesus Christ.
The gentleman seems to have absolutely no moral compass.
The producer in the background for Majority Report just called Dr. Robert Malone a quack. Right. It's just like with this guy Jordan Walker, right? They're going to downplay his position, and it's like both of these men. I'm not saying that Jordan Walker doesn't know what he's talking about. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. He does. He knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's like Ben Carson. Oh, he's stupid. And I'm like, no, he was the first person to
brain surgeon
do a conjoined twin separation.
Yeah. It's just they want to dismiss this as much as they can because it hurts their cause, and their cause is they have to carry water for they have to. Well, I guess carry water. I keep saying it. They have to promote their team. Their team has to win, and their team is the liberal, leftist, progressive, Democrat, socialist, communist, social justice warriors. That's their team. And so anybody like Dr. Malone, to the full capacity of what Jordan Walker is, all of these things, Project Veritas, they hurt their cause. They showed their cause to be insufficient and retarded by all means, and they can't have that, so they have to diminish all these people. They gotta make it so that they can pass them off.
At all.
Now they bring on now this just gives away the game, right? Because they bring on an anti-vaxxer, this Dr. Malone, to, I guess, assess the moral value of this one guy who works at the at Pfizer. Now, look, this guy may or may not be moral. He may be, first of all, I think it's highly inappropriate to have these conversations even on a date, particularly in our first date. But the idea that is they're bringing this guy on. Now I wanted to go into the second half of the video when
Can I just say on the Malone thing, like that he's supposedly he claimed to be the inventor of mRNA, and then subsequently like that's been I think debunked a little bit. But that he has to go immediately to psychoanalysis.
Debunked a little bit.
Yeah, how's that work?
Debunked a little bit. So Gavin McInnes talks about
what
this.
debunked a little bit means he and some other people worked together on his idea.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him. He didn't do
rare.
that by himself.
It's rare, and I would assume that these dickheads would know this, but they'll, I guess, play as if they don't. It's rare that just one doctor develops just one cure.
Right.
Or one, I don't know, vaccine or just. So when Dr. Malone says that, and I saw Destiny do this, and in fact, Gavin McInnes did debate Destiny. Gavin points out often that these liberal leftists, these filthy dirtbags, have not done anything with it. They haven't built anything. They haven't really created anything. They haven't went in and done something great. And so because they haven't done that, they want to tear down everyone else that has.
No, they have word salad.
Yeah. And it's what this producer's doing, because he's just a producer on the Majority Report. He hasn't created anything. This weird-lipped twat to the left, I can't remember her name, with her fucking speech impediment, she hasn't created anything. Both of them have come on to Sam Cedar's Majority Report, which I don't know if he can necessarily be given the credit for creating the Majority Report. Maybe he did. I don't know. But even then, it's not really quite building something like you would think of building something. He made, like, I made a podcast. I don't feel like I built my podcast into something, if that makes sense. But they certainly haven't created any they haven't created a vaccine. They haven't done any research that led to the creation of a vaccine that I don't know, took away polio.
All they create is dirty toilet paper.
Yeah, I mean, they're analysts. It's the same thing that I'm doing, but they're tearing down a guy that, and I mean, you can see it. It's so fucking clear when you look at it from, I guess, this angle, that they're just lying. They're either lying or they're covering up in order to, again, promote their side. That's all they're doing.
Well, exactly. That's my point. Like, you don't need Malone to come on and say that.
He looks like he has no morality. Like,
the shape of his skull is a little bit suspect.
Go a little bit before
where his skull is a little bit suspect.
So they're going to talk about his morals as he talks about someone else's morals.
Yeah, exactly. They don't like that. They don't like that. And then she fucking comes out of left field with, well,
and just starts shaming him now
that he didn't say shit about. Yeah,
physically shaming him.
Got to talk him down.
I'm here because I want to see when O'Keefe, does his assessment of what's just been said, because he twists it. All right there. Yeah,
skulls everywhere.
Something crazy.
It's the way that the virus started. And moving on. To be honest, it makes no sense that this virus would pop out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know.
COVID virus experimentation on live monkeys? This is unethical, to say the least, and Walker describes those experiments as if they are ongoing and not simply a hypothetical discussion.
So, I mean, when is Pfizer going to implement the mutation of all these viruses? I don't know. Depends on how the experiments work out, because this is just like something that's dying, right? It sounds like gain of function to me. I don't know. It's a little bit different. I think it's different. It's like this.
A little different.
It's definitely not gain of function. It sounds like it is. I mean, it's okay. No. Directed evolution is very different.
Direct evolution?
Directed evolution.
Directed evolution. Okay. Well, so, I mean, is that what it is?
Maybe. I don't know. Well, you're not supposed to do gain of function research.
Pause it for a second. Now, like, they're jumping around and cutting quite a bit. But it's quite clear. The guy's saying, like, no, it's not gain of function. Yeah. And now he's like, and it's also quite clear that he doesn't really know the specifics about this stuff.
Yeah.
This is
pretty
more,
uninformed.
This is more like, he's talking about stuff that he's hearing vaguely from other parts of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
how do you know? What they're going to do is they're going to end up I've seen this video already, but what they're going to do is they're going to end up saying, like explaining why he's saying the things that he's saying, and and just kind of take over for the guy and like basically put words in his mouth of why he's saying the things that he does when they're doing that right now.
And they've been doing it since Mangala.
Fucking.
They hired those idiots and brought them over to NASA and other places and let them go to work here.
Project Paperclip. So I really wanted to have my first video back, and I'm glad that I'm able to do it on this one. But I wanted to find the video. There's a video from, I don't know when it was, 2 years ago. It was when the Russian collusion case absolutely fell apart. Everybody stopped talking about it. Everybody really, well, maybe they didn't necessarily stop talking about it. They stopped believing it because there was nothing there. It was the case was over. It was egg on the Democrats' face. They didn't have anything against Trump when it came to the collusion thing. And I watched a video. It was like a 10-minute video from Sam Cedar and them. And I remember specifically Sam Cedar addressing somebody who labeled people who pushed the collusion narrative as Russian collusion peddlers. And I remember his stupid fucking face, that ugly fucking dumb face that he has right there going, what's a Russian peddler? What's a Russian collusion peddler? And it's like, you motherfucker. And that was the video that I wanted to come back with. And I found it at one other time, and then we just we kind of jumped into this one tonight, and I wasn't able to find it, but it's because this is the shit that they do. It's so fucking obvious, at least to me, that this is what they do. And it's I want to show people that the best that the left has nothing. And they lie and push false narratives and do what they can to propagate the things that are wrong within society and bad for you. And here you have it.
I don't think it's like inappropriate for him to talk about this. The guy's goading him, trying to make conversation. It's just,
if there was a conspiracy, he would be much more tight-lipped about it.
Yeah, he's trying to flirt. I mean, it's messed up. It's messed up that he thinks he's on a date and he's getting filmed for this.
Totally messed up.
Right.
Yeah, but what is it messed up for? It's okay. I could see that if it was just two people and nobody was being recorded. There wasn't an intent to try and find out what's happening within this company. But you have. And especially when it's Pfizer. Pfizer, when I first moved back to Michigan, there was I don't know if it was Pfizer headquarters was in Ann Arbor, and they were facing Chapter 11. I don't know if that was the case. That was like the largest suit against anyone or any pharmaceutical or whatever it was. And the left hated Big Pharma, as I've never been a big fan of Big Pharma, but now you have them coming to their aid. It's bizarre.
So yeah, they recommend not. But you do like these like selected structural mutations to try to see if you can make more potent.
Yeah.
So there is research online about that. I don't know how that's gonna work. There better not be any more outbreaks because like Jesus Christ.
So tell me more. Like
now, pause it. Now understand. He could be talking about research that's ongoing because, of course, there's ongoing research. I would presume about COVID. Not necessarily at Pfizer, but they jump cut. Yeah. So where like a part of the conversation where he is talking about Pfizer. Now, Pfizer may be doing these experiments. There's no way Pfizer's just doing these experiments like, hey, let's go down to the garage and do these experiments.
Oh, this point just irks me because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. When it was Trump talking about we're gonna get a vaccine and shit like that, the media made it out as if he was going down to his garage to fucking come up with this vaccine on his own. Right. And now he's making this stupid fucking point of, well, they're not just going down to the garage. It's like, how fucking stupid do you think? I mean, I guess his audience is pretty stupid. They
have to be because he has not once ever said that this is not happening. All he keeps saying is that it is happening.
Yeah.
What you're hearing, everything you hear is happening, but he's like sugarcoating it and saying, why wouldn't he say it? Of course they're
he's not
doing
making it sound as bad, but he also wants to make himself. And so this is kind of the not a big conflict, but a conflict between these two, because you have Sam Cedar who's saying he shouldn't be talking about this on a date, and she's like, in which I agree with her. He's like, yeah, he's just talking about this. He's trying to flirt, and he's trying to, act important to this guy in order to get him to like him. And it's like,
right.
Yeah,
but it still is saying it.
Yeah, and he's saying, and but even when you're listening to the guy talk, it sounds like he's giving so much, but he doesn't want to give it all away. Like he's just kind of being coy about it, of like, oh yeah, well it's this, but it's not quite this. Well, I think it's this. You know what I mean? It's like, and Sam sees it as, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and it's only hearsay. Where if you just look at it for what it is, the guy knows this shit. He has a title.
He could change the subject.
Yeah, and he's just trying to.
I would have answered when the guy would have brought up something like that. I would have immediately switched to, so you're going to be sucking on my nipples tonight, because that's what I really like.
I mean, he just he wants to answer the guy's question, but he doesn't want to give too much. Yeah.
If Project Veritas wants to do a big expose on how animals are used in research, I think that's
worthwhile.
Definitely worthwhile.
Check out
animals were mentioned.
Yeah, well, no, they were talking about using monkeys. Would it be okay if he goaded this guy on a date under the idea that it was just a date and nothing else to it, and he secretly recorded him? Would it be okay then, Sam, when it came to animals and how they're used in experiments? I guess he's saying it would be okay then, but it's not okay when you're trying to show that you have a company that's purely only trying to make money off of the suffering.
And see, like me, I don't want to hear about animals. I realize I'm an adult. That happens.
Yeah.
But that right there, I don't want to hear about. Y'all need to keep your mouth shut.
Here we go.
Neuralink.
The idea that this is happening, exclusively in the context of COVID. And I will also say, if there is a hierarchy of when it's more appropriate to test things on animals, I would imagine a pandemic is pretty far up there.
Yeah, 1 million deaths in the country. Yeah.
With the whole, virus mutation process.
Well, they're still kind of conducting the experiments on it, but it seems like from what I've heard, they're kind of optimizing it, but it's very slow. They're very cautious, right?
From what I've heard,
this is so non-committal.
This is like somebody who's like,
I have to touch on this real quick. They're going to make it out as if this guy, again, he's only hearing these things he doesn't know. This guy ends up saying specifically to the Project Veritas guy, yeah, this feels like a undercover sting. There's a conservative guy that goes around and does this. So it's like he has that in the back of his head, because he mentions it, I think, a couple times during this date, where it's like, okay, he's standoffish to an effect that he knows that this happens, and it could be that this is happening. So he doesn't want to give away what he actually knows. Again, you have to go back to the title. Pfizer is a smart company in the sense that it knows how to make money, and they've been sued. Again, they had one of the largest suits.
They've had a meeting saying keep your mouth shut.
Right. They don't just give out fucking titles like Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations and mRNA Scientific Planning to, as you keep saying, the fucking janitor. They don't just give it out to somebody that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. That title, that label.
Yeah, the janitor is not Matt Damon.
Right. Yeah, exactly. This guy knows what he's talking about, flat out. And they just want to pretend as if he doesn't.
Read the trades.
Yeah.
I read the trades. Like, my job is to sort of read about what the different research is going on. This is what I've heard. It's not even clear that it's happening at
So he doesn't direct
Pfizer.
anything.
From what I heard, but I hope it's careful.
Yeah,
and wow, look at
Reuters.
this guy.
Reuters reported that they. Go ahead.
What'd be interesting is documents.
Yeah.
Sorry, too much?
Yeah.
But I think they're also just trying to do it as an exploratory thing because you obviously don't want to advertise that you're trying to figure out future mutations.
Hilarious. So, did the whole virus mutation thing come from your executive, Sarah?
No. That came from we have chief scientific officers in the other divisions.
In a subsequent meeting, our undercover journalist asked if this type of gain-of-function research is already being studied.
It is not gain-of-function research.
This is.
The entire time he's like, no, you're not really using that term correctly.
See what happens when you change the definition of something or you come up with another word for the same fucking thing? It's not just moving the goalpost.
It's called gaslighting.
Yeah, I mean it's so that the slimy people like Sam Seed or like this guy or Sam Seed or whoever can, once they're caught in a corner, it's that they can slime their way out.
Don't believe your lying eyes.
Yeah, they've got an exit.
Right. It's different from that. It's really different from that.
No, it isn't.
And then the reason why you have O'Keefe sort of reinterpret what the guy says is because the guy doesn't necessarily say what they want him to say in terms of their video. And so you got to have O'Keefe come in and reinterpret it this way.
No. That came from we have chief scientific officers in the other divisions.
In a subsequent meeting, our undercover journalist asked if this type of gain-of-function research is already being studied at Pfizer. But no, as long as it's called directed evolution, Pfizer's in the clear.
What's the goal for Pfizer of doing that?
So probably what they want to do is to try to figure out, to some extent, there's all these new strains of variants that just pop up. Why don't we try to catch them before they pop up in nature, and we can develop a vaccine prophylaxis for new variants.
Yeah.
So that's why they're thinking if you do it control in the lab, then you say, this is an epitope. And so then if it comes out later on, in the public, you already have a vaccine kind of working on it.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
All right, pause it. Now let's be clear here. This is exactly what you want them to do.
Exactly.
They're being proactive.
And they're not creating a variant that wouldn't otherwise exist. The whole point of this structured evolution is to try and anticipate what variant is going to happen in the real world. That's what they want to do.
COVID-19 has never occurred prior to, 2019, 2020. And it only occurred because some dickhead scientists were doing this. What gain of function research is really about is one of two things. It's either in order to cause a pandemic, in order to gain power, kill off people, and make money, or it's to combat what somebody else might come up with.
Yeah,
right?
It's a gain of function, a gain of money. The more money you have, the more functional you are.
Well, I mean, it's more in the sense of it's to make something more lethal, to create it it's essentially evolve it into another process or into another. I can't think of words. Oh, it bugs me so much when I can't think of words.
A new strain.
That's more deadly, more contagious, more of a threat.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, it's one of the two things. It's either causing a pandemic or something to that effect on purpose.
Yeah, this is
or
creepy people.
What another more so? Think of two different countries. Think of I don't know, fucking United States and Russia, right? Russia might develop something. Well, you're trying to do gain of function research to cover the bases in case that other country comes up with it. None of this happens in nature. None of this. COVID-19 has never been until 2019, 2020. It was created in a lab. This was not bat soup. This was not any of that shit. This is not a natural thing to occur. And these fucking retards have been told this shit, so they keep going on as if, oh yeah, this is going to naturally happen. No, it never was going to. It never has. This was a creation of the scientific community and the government. These two industrial complexes who've been meshed together for a very long time, coming together to create this not as effective virus as they would have liked for it to be.
Practically, they want to be able to give folks a vaccine. And this is sort of what they do. I don't know how they do this with the flu, how they anticipate what strain is going to be out there. But this is like
the flu vaccine is like 50-50 at best, which I don't. I
heard this year it was 30.
Yeah, it's
30% effective.
They never can predict it. They've never been accurate. I don't get the flu vaccine. You'll either get the flu or you won't. I think it's and by the way, I got that from nurses and doctors and the medical field when I went through fire science and paramedicine, taking the same classes as doctors, nurses, what have you, anatomy and physiology, pharmacology, medical terminology, all that fun stuff. And that's what all of them were saying at that time too. It's 50-50 at best, which is to say that it's less than 50% effective.
Like what you want them to be doing, anticipating and figuring out the best way to anticipate what the COVID that's going to exist, particularly once we're now in an endemic period where we are going to be living with this maybe for the decades that we've been living with the flu that started in 1918.
This mistake is costing Amazon Prime shoppers.
Oh.
Are you still using Prime?
Ads and more ads.
And so the idea is, how do we get ahead and know what vaccine? CDC did research on the bivalent, finds that it's about 50% effective in stopping infection, significantly better in reducing the severity of infection.
How do you know? How do you know about the severity? It's so fucking subjective. This is the stupidest shit. And he doesn't want to play into it because it still pushes the idea that the vaccine has some kind of benefit to anybody that takes it. It doesn't. It has zero. It has not done anything for anyone. And how are you to tell? I hate when I hear people fucking bring up the severity. I mean, unless you can objectively watch somebody vomiting, and shitting themselves at the same time. And okay, well, that's a little bit more severe than somebody who just has the sniffles. But that's not the case. It's never been the case. It's almost often, if we're talking about in terms of severity, the people who get the vaccine end up seemingly a hell of a lot sicker than those that just are sleepy for a couple of days, like I've been. How the fuck? Why doesn't he ask these questions? Because he's disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Infection. So that's why you see such enormous amounts of people getting infected.
I don't care, dude.
And I don't want to say just 600 deaths, but if we were where we were in 2020, the number of deaths on a daily basis would be closer to 3,000, 3,500, maybe more.
And the case study of this being effective is the efficacy of the new bivalent vaccine, because they guessed right after doing these kinds of experiments. And this is they ended up creating something that's quite effective for this new strain.
When he has to do, say, structured evolution in quotes because the guy wouldn't say gain of function, that's a proof that this entire stunt was a failure.
Yes.
Because if the guy should have been saying, yeah, it's gain of function, but we call it that. But he's like, no, actually,
it's really
even
different
in the privacy of that, he's like, no, you're not getting that right.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's
We're assuming things here, and that's the point that I was making about him, the Jordan Walker guy, bringing up the possibility that it could be a Project Veritas sting. Is you're going to guard yourself so much, even with that that little thought in there, what if this guy isn't really into me? What if this is a sting? Okay, when you have that mentation, you're going to guard yourself to an effect. And these fucking tards are oblivious to it.
I'm trying to say this to somebody who he's trying to hook up with.
Exactly.
Yeah. How gentle do you have to be in that situation?
He's trying to meet him halfway, and he's like, no, man, no.
And this guy's going oh, you're going to make a ton of money. Yeah, no kidding. That's what they're in this business.
Right.
Is the big surprise? Pharmaceutical companies are in it for the profit. No,
but not in the way that he's going to try to say.
And they're okay with it when it comes to pharmaceutical companies and I don't know, fucking the Democrats. They're just okay with it.
Yeah, we're doing this to make a profit.
Yeah.
A gain of function, baby.
Which a free market guy like myself, I'm like, no, I've got a problem with this. I've got no problem with people participating in the free market as long as it's fucking ethical. There should still be laws against
they're stacking the
murder and
deck.
shit.
They're making a problem and a solution.
You don't get to make money off of murder, dickhead. This tard over here is just like, well, they get to make it. That's what they do. No shit.
They're
I don't
making
hear them
something
talking about. I don't hear them talk. Go ahead.
They're making something that would normally not exist.
Right. Yeah. And if it gets out, more than likely on purpose, it's going to kill people. And he's just like, doesn't want to address that whatsoever. Fucking, I don't hear him talking about, the workers and how, each worker should be making, X amount of money or that their full value and shit like a socialist would, because that's what he is. But now he's okay with capitalism, because he's again carrying water for Pfizer in this whole video. It's painful to watch.
Which is that like essentially they're trying to create these viruses.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that the best business model though? Like, just control nature before nature even happens itself, right?
Yeah. If it works.
Pause it just real quick. Anticipate a need.
Right. I mean, if it works.
Because like some of the times there were just mutations that pop up, right? And we're not prepared for it, like with Delta or Omicron and things like that. So who knows? I mean, either way, it's gonna be a cash cow. COVID will probably be a cash cow for us for a while going forward. Well,
yeah.
I obviously like it.
Well, I think the whole, like research of the viruses and mutating it, like, would be the ultimate.
Pause it right there. See what's going on here, right? This guy's saying like it's a cash cow. And you know how else you know this? You don't need to have someone go secret camera and ambush a mid-level worker to find this out. You can look at their stock and their shareholders meetings, which are public.
That wasn't the point of the video, you stupid bitch. The point of the video was to show that they are purposely mutating the virus. That was the point of this whole video.
And the proof would be their stocks.
Right. And it's also in, and I don't know if they ever mentioned it, I can't remember, but the Pfizer guy here admits that people who work in politics, when they, get voted out, lose their seat, whatever, they come over to Pfizer. He says it's a revolving door of politicians that come and work there in order to find out or work or plan to lobby to get whatever drugs passed from Pfizer so that they can make more money. And this fucking twat doesn't mention it whatsoever, I don't think.
But then this guy from Project Veritas is like trying to conflate a couple of things. Research of the virus. Okay, yes, of course. And mutating it.
It mutates, bro.
It is not, they are not mutating it.
Yeah.
They are watching it mutate in a controlled environment so that they can anticipate what now
how to treat it.
People may say like that's too dangerous, you shouldn't do that. Perfectly, I think, legitimate. But the bottom line is they're not mutating it. They're watching it mutate as a way of anticipating where they need to take the vaccines. And this guy's conflating them and making it sound like they are creating new diseases in which to provide vaccines for. And that's not what they're doing.
Not. He's saying that they're using an existing disease and mutating it to make it worse.
Yeah, and using outside nature things to make it happen.
He just fucking took it in a whole different direction.
Yeah.
Maybe not a whole different direction, but a different path.
Yeah.
They are trying to observe the mutation of an existing disease.
Yeah, I mean, Big Pharma has already successfully cornered the market on responding to this sort of stuff. It's going to be a cash cow if there is a massive pandemic for them.
Indeed.
Because the government allowed for all of that to happen.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. Now, you would think that creating viruses to sell the vaccine would be illegal. But no, the pharmaceutical industry, as Walker puts it, is, quote, a revolving door for all government.
It is illegal to create a virus.
Yeah.
For money.
And if they want to make this about a critique of pharmaceutical,
okay, cunt, it should be illegal to manufacture a mutation of a virus in order to make money off of a vaccine. Better, you twat.
Companies and for-profit medicine. I mean, I'm all for it, but that's not what this is.
No. And this is the only time where it's a legitimate critique is coming up. The revolving door between regulators and these companies, which exists in business. In terms of like finance, in terms of DOJ, in terms of the EPA, this is a real problem. And I hope what comes out of this is some type of legislation that increases the pay and the security of people working for regulators so that becomes their job, period. And inhibits the ability of people who have left the government to in any way engage in these type of jobs that require them to come back to the government. We have something like that with lobbyists on some level, but we should do it across the board.
Yeah, and it's counterintuitive, particularly given our like libertarian sense of fighting DC corruption. But actually, like throughout history, that's been the way you fight it, is to pay people more to actually do the business of government.
I don't agree with everything that they say, but I can at least admit when I'm wrong, unlike these twats. I was wrong about it. He did talk about it. So good on him, at least for addressing that part.
Officials, unquote.
I have a revolving door for all government officials.
Wow.
Yeah, for any industry though. So like in the pharma industry, all the government officials who review our drugs, they come work for pharma companies. Like in the military, like all the like army and defense, like government officials eventually go work for the defense company afterwards.
How do you feel about that revolving door? Like,
it's pretty good for the industry, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's bad for everyone else in America.
Why is it bad for everybody else?
Because if the regulators who approve our drugs know that once they stop being regulated, they want to go work for the company, they're not going to be as hard for the company. They were doing their job.
Right. We talked to Dr. Robert Malone.
Pause it for 1 second. Pause it. We don't need to hear Dr. Malone comment on. In fact, that story
we don't need to hear from a doctor. We don't need to hear from a doctor who might have some kind of insight into this shit. We don't need to hear from him. We just need to hear our own thoughts. Okay, so there's only, we don't have to go. There's only like 4 more minutes left. What I do know about this video is they don't touch on what happens after this. When James O'Keefe comes in and confronts this guy, and this guy has a fucking breakdown. This guy loses his shit. He asks the waitresses and people to call the cops. He I don't know, I think he demands of the waitress and the staff to lock the doors and not let them go, which is false imprisonment. Kidnapping. And then he starts attacking. There's like 5 or 6, people with James O'Keefe, cameraman and all that. He starts attacking these guys, breaks one iPad, and just has a complete meltdown because he knows that he just got hit with this sting. They don't even bring up the fact that this guy mentioned the other Project Veritas stings that he knows about. So it's something that I obviously have been saying throughout this because it's important, because this guy knew that this could be the case, and so he's going to be guarded. He's only going to give so much information. He's going to play coy in certain areas too, and they don't want to have that be a part of the grand scheme of things, because then it might actually deteriorate their argument. So,
and that is not date talk.
What do you mean?
I've been on dates, not with dudes, but that's not what I'm talking about with women.
Yeah, I mean,
I've not dated a brain surgeon, and quizzed her.
Right, but I mean, I can see it in there in the sense of like the conversation kind of ends up there. Like, okay, well, what do you do is usually something that's asked, right? What do you do for a job? And then you kind of go into it. And when somebody's asking about it and they seem to be more and more interested, the more that you talk about it, I can see it going that direction. And then you also trying to brag and boast about how important you are to the company.
Oh yeah,
So, it is what it is. It's I think this was a great find by Project Veritas. I think they hit another home run. Sadly, my guy, I think I told you before, my guy, Dave Smith, wasn't impressed by this video. Thinks that it can all kind of be thrown out because the guy was drinking and, under the auspices that it was a date and, he's trying to get laid and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm just not going to give it to him. I really stopped giving the benefit of the doubt to mine enemy a while ago. So, with that, man, it's really dark in this, isn't it? I apparently did a better job than I thought I would. I thought I was going to get a little lighter as this.
I'm lit up, baby.
Gets going. Are you? Oh yeah, you are. Usually you're the dark one. So, yeah, that's all I have for now. I did not expect for this to go an hour and 45 minutes, but it did. This is our first video together too. We've done a lot of podcasts together. First video. So I appreciate you coming on, man.
Well, thanks for having me, baby.
You betcha. You want to plug yourself?
Yeah, get a hold of me at baddogshow@yahoo.com, friendsradionetwork.com, friendsradionetwork.com. There you go.
And he's also on Facebook. Sorry, I'm trying to say it as I'm bringing up my my part to share as I plug, because this is the first time I get to plug it with me at the helm. So,
good.
Yeah, go check him out, please. Oh, shit. Why wouldn't it let me share this? I'm trying to plug myself right now.
Oh, yeah, you could bring up your page.
Yeah, I'm bringing up the page, brother.
Page!
Select tab. Window. Fuck it. Oh, there we go. Chrome has lost permission to capture the screen. To fix it, go to system preferences. Fuck. Why did it? It's only recording. It's not like we're live streaming right now.
Right.
I don't think.
Well, I'm not seeing any comments.
No, me neither.
Well, hold on.
Extra camera slides. Share screen. Oh, here we go. Hell yeah. All right. So you can get a hold of me at metv1105@gmail.com. That's my email. It's very easy. Just email me. I'll see it. Again, that's metv1105@gmail.com. I fucked that one up. metv1105@gmail.com. Or you can go to theweaponbook.com, which is my website, and I'm about to show you right now.
Woohoo!
You'll go here. John Machado, that's me. This is the website that I created for my book. Kind of scroll down, and you start to get into the actual book that you can purchase. The first chapter is free. See, right here, free chapter. Go there,
dun, dun.
Get your free chapter. You get to get your introduction into the world of the weapon. Right now, I've got 13 chapters out so far. I just finished actually transplanting chapter 14, and now I'm editing it, and I should be publishing that pretty soon. I'll be on chapter 15. There will be a total of 25 chapters altogether. Each chapter is a mini book, so you put them all together, it's a large book. I do have my novella right now, part 1, which is chapters 1 through 10. And each chapter, each additional chapter is, oh shit, I gotta switch that up. Look at it. I've got free chapter over my novella. I don't know how I did that. But I did, so I got to move that over here.
Rush.
Probably confused some people.
Good thing this isn't live.
Well, you can see down here, fuck's sake, $7.50, $0, right? But each other singular chapter is only $1. And being that this one is 10 chapters, it's only $7.50. Thought I might make that
brilliant.
Now, what I was working on today, so we have my merch. Not that I was working on that today, but you have my merch, which is just a whole slew. Look at this, little fucking baby
thingy.
Look, you got white and black, right? I'm an all-inclusive person. You got the Frank, which is a Andre Willowaire's brother. They call him Frank. They like these fucking fanny packs from the 90s, so I made him one. You got my hoodies over here, all sorts of shit. You got the Andre Willowaire's because he likes those kind of pants, fag. You got the trucker hat. You got all sorts of shit. I've got the hat. The hat's great. My son's got the shirt. I got Andre Willowaire and his wife these hoodies. They're a little bit more expensive because they're nicer material. What else? Who's got the? I think DB has the mug. I think he's got the mug, and I think he's got a shirt too. So, and then you've got the shirt here. I mean, you've got all sorts of shit. So, a lot of fun stuff to look through there. You've got just the chapters here that you can go through again. Yeah, okay, I fixed it here. Free chapter over the actual free chapter. At least I was smart there. But I was working on my videos here. This is something that I was talking about a while ago. As soon as it wants to load over. Here we go. Videos. Finally got this fixed. I have been talking about the infiltration of the Catholic Church by the communists in the 30s. And here is the church militant video. That I've been talking about. And I finally got it all situated and figured out. It's the first video here, but I've got a whole bunch of them. These are videos that I think are important of people who mean a great deal to me, like Bill Cooper. Here's his one of my favorite speeches of his. It goes on for a little over 4 hours. You have David Icke's famous damn near 7-hour long speech he gave in London. I can't remember the place that he gave it at. Zeitgeist Debunked. I've talked about Zeitgeist plenty. You have The Little Ones, which is from Drew Peters' show. Really good documentary. These are all great documentaries. End Times, the movie, good one. Is that Face Like a Sun? I think it might be theirs. And then The Rescue of Kathy O'Brien. If you don't know who Kathy O'Brien is, watch this documentary. It's going to blow your socks off. And then here's all of my older videos. I think there's about 25 of them. This one will be on here when I can. And then I'm also going to put this video that you hear me talking on right now on YouTube. Probably not on Facebook, but it'll be on YouTube and more than likely Rumble. Rumble's the number one place that I want to be at. So if you would, for both me and Bentley, please go to Rumble and follow us. I think I have 10. Yeah, I think I have 10 followers so far. So we just got to ramp it up a little bit more once we get 25 on there. Hopefully one day I'll be able to look back and be like, remember when we just needed 25 and now we've got 25 million?
Oh, yeah, baby.
25,000. Wouldn't that be great?
25.
So, yeah, if you could go to Rumble, help us out. Be a
Call
follower
your friends.
so that we can put them on Rumble and you don't have to go. I don't know where you're seeing this at right now.
Call your mama.
This is post-production or post-publishing. So you can go there. You can find me on almost any social networking platform with the exceptions of Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Just look up John Omerchada, my name right there. You can see, and you should be able to find me. Talk with me. Who knows? Maybe one day you might be doing a podcast with us. So,
oh, yeah.
That's all for tonight, folks. Until next time, be accountable, be responsible. Don't be a bitch-ass liberal.
Peace.